So there's a vicious cycle that's happening. This is the cover of Bloomberg, the old cover. I look at how young Elon is. So who is doing this to young people? Who is doing this? And he's certainly not somebody I feel bad for. But when I see that it looks like he was groomed, then I feel bad. But, it's like the line's been crossed, because that's why they get them young, is to groom them. Who is doing this? And all I can think is Peter Thiel, because he loves to pull people in to that web of entrepreneurship and promise them, not just him, I'm sure it's many others. The thing is, it likely happened to them, though, too, because they go on to do the same thing. Musk's Doge teen was fired by cybersecurity firm for leaking company secrets. Edward Korenstein posted online that he had retained access to the firm's servers. Now he has access to sensitive government information. And Trump mentioned that these people are really young and they're geniuses, right? But he's mentioned a few times they're really young. They're young patriots, he says. But if you look at these pictures of these tech bros, okay, they wine and dine them. And it's a vicious cycle that's happening, because I don't want to say it's necessarily the administrations, because somebody's controlling the administrations, but it's not these young ones. This is the government, the military industrial complex, that gets these young ones to get these, private companies like Facebook, and it's all just been, this con job on everybody. But it's going on. But then these people grow up like Musk or Zuckerberg, and then they go on to do the same thing that people did to them. That's the problem with all this. Yeah, and the photo here that Obama is holding and showing Elon was the photo of him on the cover of Time. I think it was the one when he was a child. That was why it was part of the presidential library. It's like it's grooming in a way. Even when he was younger, somebody grooming him. And then everybody, and I don't trust him. I don't. Because then they go on and they do it to others. That's the problem with this. This has to stop. It has to stop. This is exactly the problem that goes back to that, what the core problem in this country is, that none of the media is even addressing, none of the podcasters, and that's this grooming of young people. And in the tech world, they're grooming, young boys, most especially. Wine and dine them. I mean, that's Steve Jobs over there on the end. And is that Sam Altman next to Zuckerberg? I can't tell. I didn't zoom in on it to see. But see, this is this vicious cycle. And then the administrations get to use this private, because this is then the private sector, to then control the rest of us. But I don't think it's the administration. I don't think they've been in full control either. But who is doing this? Who is behind all this so that it can be stopped? I mean, this is just, it's just wrong. It's wrong what is happening to young people. I mean, Zuckerberg here, he couldn't have been, I think this was 2015, so it was 10 years ago. But so, he's not a kid, but at the same time, he stole Facebook, right? When he was in college, he stole it from somebody who had created it. It was some campus thing. I think most people know that, right? But people always said from the beginning, going back almost 13 years, 14 years ago, to not go on Facebook, not go on it, because it was CIA controlled from the beginning. And now I do think that. I've thought that the last 4 years, but back then I thought, oh, that's ridiculous. And people were talking back then about your data. And so, but then who is ultimately grooming them? Because whoever's grooming them, those people were groomed too. And then again, you got your Bill Gates tied into all this. I mean, there's just as many pictures with Bill Gates, all of these tech people, everybody that was, I mean, so who's grooming them all? Because I think that's what, because that's the part that has to stop. For people that have seen The Matrix, this is how I feel. Remember the guy in The Matrix who, I can't remember the character's name and I can't remember the actor's name. Is it Joey Pantoliano or Joey? He goes by Joey Pants or something. The one that was like the Judas of the group, that when everybody on the ship was in the Matrix, he was trying to kill them off. That one. And there was that scene with him where he said, I just want to be inserted back into the Matrix. And have no memory. That's how I feel. Some days I just wish, insert me back into the Matrix, because it seems like there's never an end in sight to this bullshit.